We have two types of proportion. First one is direct proportion, whereby an increase in one quantity will result in an increase in the other quantity and vice versa. We also have inverse proportion, whereby an increase in one quantity will result in a decrease in the other quantity. So we have two examples to work here. Here's the first one. If 12 trucks can transport 1200 bags of cement, how many bags of cement can be transported by 20 trucks? In this case, we realize if we increase the number of trucks transporting, then whatever we are, the quantity of whatever we are transporting will increase. Meaning, if we increase the number of trucks, then the number of cement, bags of cement we shall carry will increase. So this is a good example of direct proportion. Now, if you consider the two quantities we have here, which are truck, the number of trucks, and the number of bags of cement we carry, we realize trucks are the ones that have been given in two instances. We have 12 trucks here and 20. So we use them to form a ratio. So we shall say, if you consider the original number of trucks we are given, which is 12, and the current one, which is 20, it's like the number of trucks have increased. So we shall say the number of trucks have increased in the ratio. How do we write the ratio here? We always take the new figure to ratio the old figure. So in this case, the new figure representing the number of trucks are 20, or is 20. So it will be that the number of trucks have increased in the ratio 20 to ratio 12. The new number of trucks ratio the old number of trucks. Now, because this is direct proportion, and we have realized that the number of trucks have increased, and that means the number of bags will increase in the same ratio. So the number of bags will also increase in this same ratio, 20 to ratio 12. Why? Because we have said this direct proportion, and we said under direct proportion, when one quantity increases, the other one will also increase. So if this one has increased by this ratio, then this other one will also increase by the same ratio. So this is the ratio representing the increase in number of bags. Then the actual number of bags will be given by number of bags is equal to this first ratio divided by the second ratio. Always this is the first one divided by the second one. So 20 divided by 12 times the number of bags we had transported initially, which is 1200. Then you realize 12 cancels here once. It cancels here 100 times. See that 20 times 100 gives us 2000 bags. So this is the first method of working it. There's another second method which requires a bit of reasoning. So in this case, we shall say if 12 trucks can transport 1200 bags, meaning if 12 trucks is equal to 1200 bags, then 20 trucks will be equal to what? 20 trucks will be equal to what? We know very well that if we increase the number of trucks, we shall increase the number of bags. So if, in short, if you realize this is a form of direct proportion, you take the larger of these two values, which is 20 in this case, multiply by this 1200, which is the number of bags, divided by the lesser of these two, which is 12. And if you do that, you realize 12 cancels here once, it cancels here 100, and that gives you 1200 bags, sorry, 2000 bags still, same as the first one here. Another example, 20 people can cultivate a piece of land in 15 days. How many more people working at the same rate would be needed to cultivate the same piece of land in 10 days? Now in this question, you realize what the quantity you have been given in two instances is not the people, but the days. We have 15 days here and 20 days. It's like 15 days, the days have reduced from 15 to 10. So in this case, we shall say the ratio of the number of days has reduced from 15 to 10. So we shall write the number of days decrease in the ratio, the new number of days to the old number of days. Just as we worked up previously, we wrote the new number of tracks to ratio the old number of tracks. So it is, in this case, you realize we are considering 10 days, while initially we had 15 days. So it's like the number of days have reduced from 15 to 10. That's why we have said the number of days decrease in the ratio, the new number of days to the old number of days. As I mentioned earlier on, we always write the new value here to ratio the old one here. Now, ask yourself, if you look at this question, is it a good example of direct or inverse proportion? It's a good example of inverse proportion, because if we have to reduce the number of days, then we must increase the number of people who are working in that field. If we want to reduce the number of days we are working in the field, we must increase the number of people. So that's a good example of inverse proportion. So that means if the number of days have decreased in this ratio, then the number of people will now increase. The number of people will increase in the ratio. We interchange this one. We are interchanging it because the number of people will be increasing. So that means the new one will be larger of the compared to the older one. So in short, we simply interchange these figures to get what we should write as the ratio here. That is the ratio representing the number of people. The actual number of people will be given by the new figure, always the new ratio here, divided by the old ratio, that's 15, divided by 10, times the number of people we had here, which is 20. And when you do that, you get 30 people. So we need 30 people to complete the work in 10 days. But the question was asking, how many more people? Remember, initially we had 20. So how many more people simply means what number of extra people we need. And in that case, we shall say the extra number of people will be given by this 30 minus what we had, which was 20, and that gives us 10 people. You can use this method also to solve this question. Let me just write it down here and then we discuss it. So the question, the method states that if 15 days is equal to 20 people, 10 days will be equal to how many people? So you realize that for us to work for 10 days, we need more people. So in that case, we shall take the larger of these two, which is 15, times this number here, which is on the right hand side, divided by the lesser of these two. So that is 15 times 20 divided by 10. That's what I've done here. You get 30 people. Then for you to get the extra number of people, you subtract as we have done previously, and you will still get 10 people. Thank you.